Discover the heart of our history at the Hidden History Museum in Los Angeles. Now open with new weekend hours, Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Located at 2131 West Jefferson Boulevard in Los Angeles, our museum showcases the brilliance and ingenuity of foundational Black American culture, along with the richness of global Black culture. Come in, explore our displays, and shop for books, films, and other unique items that celebrate our legacy. Also, be sure to look out for our popular special events. For more information, visit hiddenhistorymuseum.com.
I'm no longer musty. I'm no longer musty. Hey, I'm no longer musty. I'm no longer musty. 'Cause I got my real work on. I'm no longer musty. 'Cause I got my real work on. I'm no longer musty. 'Cause I got my real work on. I'm no longer musty.
Boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. What's going on, guys? Let me play one more commercial. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Mateo. Do you want to learn about Hidden Heroes? Hidden Heroes from A to Z is a cool book that tells the stories of amazing Black heroes you might not know about. You'll meet inventors, you'll meet explorers, and leaders who changed the world. It's fun, inspiring, and you can learn so much. Get your copy now at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Let's discover our hidden heroes together.
There it is. Had to play one more. I'm back. What's going on, man? How y'all living? Glad to have everybody in here. Ready to chop up game as we always do. Just throwing some stuff on social media, ladies and gentlemen. Let me throw everything up on social media, and then we'll be good to go. We will be good to go, ladies and gentlemen. And everybody give me a retweet. Let everybody know that we are indeed live right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me put some things. Let me put this one last thing up on the gram. Then we'll be good to go. All right, we're good to go. We are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. Man, glad to have y'all in here. I'm pretty late, but it's all gravy. I do a lot of broadcasts, so you guys, you get to hear me chop up a lot of good game. But I'm here, live on camera in the flesh, ready to chop it up with the family. Hope you guys had a great week so far. Everybody give me that nice fly retweet. Let everybody know that we are indeed live right now, ladies and gentlemen, so we can do what we do. Shout out to my mod, Michael Warden, in the building. Shout out to Nikki the God in the building. Shout out to a lot of the regulars in the building. Y'all give me some good retweets. Let the folks know that we are indeed live right now. All right, and I hope you got your Rootwork deodorant. We got some new scents coming out. Family, I need some help from the family. Speaking of Rootwork, we got some phenomenal new scents coming out for the winter. Give me some name ideas, family. I got a couple of real good smelling scents, and I'm trying to come up with some names. Y'all give me some. I got one that has like and I'm wearing it now, as a matter of fact. It smells very, very good. I got a couple of new scents that I always test them out on myself first. I wear them for about a few weeks to a month just to kind of feel the vibe and just to feel the energy and just kind of see what kind of energy I draw in. I test them for a minute. I got one that's like a cedar sage type of scent That's good. And I got another one that's like an amber sandalwood type of scent. So give me some name ideas. Fam, somebody said tether be gone. No. Give me some name ideas. Somebody said creamberry, creamy berry. No. Somebody said talcum for tethers. Watermelon wonder. So give me some name ideas, family. What should I call some of the new scents? Oh, man. Somebody said wash bussy. Now, come on now. We're not going to do that. Oh, guys, yeah. So watermelon crush, southern hospitality, sexy sage, city wood, Blair sandalwood. All right, this was an apple cinnamon. Okay, y'all giving me all of these Bed Bath & Beyond ass names. All right, we'll get on that later. Let me not slow everything down. Let me chop up game about what we're chopping up game about, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just waiting on everybody to get in the room. Everybody's piling on in the room pretty quickly, and that's a good thing. Everybody likes the new Rootwork commercial. I'm no longer musty, giving you that fly R&B vibe. Somebody said the group should be called Boys to Must or Must Condition. But listen. Lot of things we got to cover, ladies and gentlemen. What I want to talk about, the Cincinnati situation, and I'm not going to hold you too long tonight because I just might do a late night broadcast on Twitter, so I won't be on here too long, but I'm here. But family, a lot of people are talking about what's happening in Cincinnati. All eyes are on Cincinnati right now. Cincinnati is a very pivotal situation right now. For those who don't know, we've been covering this for the last week or so. In Cincinnati, there were some Russian suspected white supremacists who started and instigated an incident with black people. They were out there downtown Cincinnati instigating fights with black people. Many of the black people were trying to stop the situation from escalating. The black people were basically giving them a pass. They were like trying to de-escalate. There were several black people trying to de-escalate. But one particular Russian guy just kept on antagonizing people. Then he hauled off and slapped one of the black men, and that's when everything went to hell. They gave them Cincinnati hands and feet, which is how they get out in Cincinnati. Like I said, Cincinnati has always been a turn-up city. That was a major hub for the Underground Railroad. You've always had rebellious foundational black Americans in that city who fought against systematic oppression, rightfully so. So they got hands and feet put on them, and then it went viral. And the white supremacists all around the country are upset with the optics of it. They're ignoring the fact that the Russians instigated it and saying, oh, they shouldn't have done all of that. They shouldn't have beat them down like that, and then a woman got hit. Oh, you don't hit a woman. You don't hit a white woman because these people justify the harming of black women all the time. So I don't want to hear all of that. And also, the white male instigated everything. So he's responsible for what happens to him, the white women, and all the other people who were with him. They're responsible. Just like y'all tell us, if some black person commits a crime, whoever was around, the responsibility goes to the person who initiated the crime. You understand? So if you're around somebody and they're committing a crime, and then somebody gets hurt, the person who initiated everything is going to bear all the responsibility. You see? They've had situations where, listen, some random black person committed a crime and they were with other people. one of the accessories got shot by a cop or whatever, the black person who initiated the crime could actually get charged with murder if the cop shot the buddy who was involved in the crime, who was around in the crime. They'll charge the black person who initiated the whole thing with the murder in some cases. You see? Same thing in this situation too. The person responsible for everything that happened to everybody out there is the white supremacist suspect male who instigated everything. But they're trying to act like he's a victim because he got the business. He instigated. Nobody went out there that day looking to fight Russians. Black folks were minding their business. So this guy goes out here, instigates a fight, people defend themselves, then nothing but black people get arrested. They've arrested about 5 or 6 black people. And a lot of the white supremacists and the white supremacist satellites, meaning the buffer classes, they've been chiming in, oh, this is horrible. Oh, this is, oh, we need to, the charges need to be upgraded. Because some of the charges, some of the people have already bailed out, $400 to bail out. So they never should have been charged in the first place. Yeah, this is live. But this case is real heavy. It's sparking a lot of outrage. There was one white supremacist, I want to say he was in Dayton. He was planning on some kind of attack. He said, yeah, he don't like it. He's all online talking about we need to go kill the blacks and all this stuff and get our weapons. So they've arrested this random white boy who's talking about trying to get out there to harm black people. Good luck on that in Cincinnati. Yeah, you talk that behind the keyboard. You go out there trying to mess with them Cincinnati brothers and sisters on that bullshit. Yeah, the pendulum is going to swing a way you don't want it to swing. But I want y'all to understand something. Let's really analyze why there's such outrage about this particular situation, ladies and gentlemen. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, the outrage, it's not because of the brawl itself. The outrage, ladies and gentlemen, is because black self-defense. That's the real outrage. See, in the dominant society, black people, they think we're not supposed to fight back. A suspected white supremacist initiated that stuff. They were using racial slurs against the black people. It were instigating a physical attack. The expectation from white supremacist society is that black people should either endure the attacks or respond meekly. But what happened was it was swift and unified retaliation by the black men and women who were out there being victimized by the white supremacists, and that disrupted all of their expectations, so that triggered a lot of discomfort. Not because of the violence, because it violated the racial order that presumes white aggression must go. And in this society, white people are supposed to just abuse black people with no damn repercussions. I saw something where a white teacher, I want to say this was in Texas, he socked the hell out of he assaulted a special needs black child. And I mean a child, a little child who was special needs. He socked him and pushed him down. Assaulted this special needs black child. He's not going to get any jail time. And when he assaulted this kid, some of the other teachers were around. They didn't even flinch. So it was something that they must have been used to. So these white supremacists, they're tired of having to sneak children and all of this stuff. Run up and hit a child in order to get your little lick on a black person. I saw something down in Florida where there was a white woman who was at a park attacking black children. This was in Florida. I'm like, why in the hell? How did the police came and arrested her and all of that? I'm like, how'd she get to the police car? I mean, where were all of the black adults? And where are these black adults from to let that happen? You see? But listen, family, I want y'all to feel me, because we got to chop it up for real about what's going on out here. See, these selective arrests, see, that shows institutional messaging. Like, you better not fight back. See, while all the black people, black men and women were arrested, none of the white instigators, they didn't get the consequences from white supremacist law enforcement. That's not an accident. That's a strategic state signal. Black people who defend themselves against white hostility, they're going to tell us we're going to face state-sanctioned consequences, while the agitators get de facto immunity. And this criminalization of black defense, that reinforces that whole centuries-old power dynamic to deter resistance and uphold white impunity. And we're saying, hell no. We got a God-given right to defend ourselves. We have a God-given right to defend ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. That's a God-given right. We're not going to sit up here and just let people abuse us. That's not going to happen. See, the dominant society, they use spectacles like this in order to reinforce the racial hierarchy. So all of the media and all of these people all on code. The white media is on code. The national white media, all of them are on code. Law enforcement is on code. White politicians are on code. White media is on code, all of them. All of the white media outlets, they're framing the white people as the victims of this aggressive, hostile, unjust black mob, which isn't the case. Which is not the case. See, that's why independent media, independent journalists such as ourselves telling the truth, showing the real perspective, that's very important. Because they weren't going to show the other side where this white dude was attacking the black people first. They weren't going to show that. They were running with the narrative of some poor, innocent white people were just out having a nice meal. They were at Olive Garden, and a horde of angry brutes all just swooped down on them. So we got to see how all of them are in on this whole white supremacist nonsense. See, the thing is, the fear is not of the violence. The fear that they have is because of the black unity. You see? That's the thing that got them fucked up. The folks out there got on code real damn quick. Cincinnati is a hot spot. You understand? Yeah, I did see that video of that Indian dude trying to tell a black man to get out of his neighborhood. Did y'all see that video? Yeah, I saw that damn video. Some dark-ass East Indian dude, a black man was in his own neighborhood. Some Indian dude from damn India. This is your people of color. Talking about, what are you doing in this neighborhood? I'm going to call the police. What are you doing around here? A foreigner telling a foundational black American, asking him, what are you doing in this neighborhood? And you wonder why the delineation movement is going so strong right now? An East Indian tether rolling up on somebody in our own damn country talking about what are you doing in this neighborhood? And you wonder why delineation all across the board is popping. And y'all sit up here and let the Democrats play this people of color game on us like we got some camaraderie with these people. That's why I stopped playing games with these folks. And you got to stop playing games with them. Like I said, the name of the game, the fear was all of the black unity. It was a unified, immediate collective action of black men and women that neutralized that threat out there in Cincinnati. It was instinctual, it was synchronized, and it was effective. That type of spontaneous unity, that reminds them of the Maroons and slave revolts and the Montgomery Riverboat incident. No, they don't like that. See, that represents the greatest fear of a declining white majority. Black people who don't wait for no damn permission to protect themselves. I want y'all to understand what this is really about. Because of major delineation, we're not letting tethers get in the mix and dictate the show. So cats are getting on code with each other very quickly. And white supremacist society, their numbers are dwindling. You understand? They need to start protecting white aggressors and prepare the infrastructure for minority rule. While these birth rates are declining, there's a demographic shift. And the dominant society, they know the days of being the numerical majority, that's fading. And as a minority, and they have to rule, they have to have systemic protections. And it has to be cemented in place for white people. Even those who act unjustly. Just like in South Africa. See, they have to prepare for an apartheid-style South Africa. Like over here. They're going to try to, it's going to be from Cincinnati to Soweto. Cincinnati is very important symbolically because, again, that was a major hub for the Underground Railroad. That's where we were getting these folks up off our damn bumper, and we were organizing always in Cincinnati. That was a major, major place. So symbolically, that place is very significant. And we see in what's going on in Ohio. There's a lot of swift justice in Ohio, and ain't nobody giving a damn. Remember, a few months ago, his child got killed by a race soldier. He went out in the streets and got another one himself. He killed a race soldier, or suspected race soldier. And they shook. They don't know what to do. They're like, oh, is this going to get contagious? So they had to all get out there and show a big scene of force by getting all the cops to stare the man down in court. And he walked out the court like, yeah, yeah, you ain't scaring me, yeah. He walked up there with his head up and all them cops were looking shook. You see? That Rodney Hinton energy out there. So yeah, they're really trying to create an apartheid state, but it ain't working. It's not working like they need it to work. And they think by punishing people who are black and defend themselves, that's going to scare everybody else into place, and it's just not going to happen. You see? And the injustice is intentional. See, it's all about preserving fear. See, arresting black people who defend themselves and you allow the white supremacist instigators to go free, that's not a flaw in the system. That's the system working like they want it to work. It's not just about punishment. It's about instilling fear in future situations. See, they're trying to send a message like, if you resist, we'll destroy your future, not the white supremacists. So that's like a modern deterrent. They're trying to play this little psychological game, and that's not going to work. Because that don't give a damn energy is already there. It's already in the DNA. You see, and again, the media is all in on it too. The media framing, see, that projects, that really protects white fragility. They're downplaying what the white supremacists did. Yeah? They're not casting this as a mutual fight, which is what it was. Some white supremacists started a fight and lost. That's all this is. They started a fight and lost the damn fight. Yeah? They're ignoring the racial slurs that these white supremacists were using. They ignore that the guy instigated it, slapping people. So it's all about shielding white supremacists from accountability. Yeah? So they can emotionally disassociate from the reality of white instigated violence. And it's always our fault. It's always not, if it's not our fault, we're not reacting to it the way we should. Because some of them, they'll acknowledge the slap and say, okay, yeah, he slapped him, but yeah, you're not supposed to beat up everybody. You're not supposed to stomp people. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. We don't want to hear that, because when it's black people using words and who are not hitting anybody, like Jordan Neely, when Jordan Neely was using words on the subway, and Daniel Penny went up behind him and choked him to death, the white supremacists said, hey, that's fine. He broke the social contract. Okay, well, them white supremacists broke the social contract. They broke the social contract too, and they got the repercussions for breaking the social contract. They didn't get killed. It was just swift and immediate justice. You see? It was swift and immediate justice. And let me show y'all an example of what I'm saying. Let me show y'all an example of how these hypocritical suspected white supremacists and how their thought patterns are. Now look at this. This is a tweet from a white male. Let me show y'all the contradictions here. All right, hold on. Or the hypocrisy here. Who cares who says the N-word or any other word? That does not give you the right to physically attack someone. All right? That's what he said about this case. Because somebody said, breaking news, new footage revealed the N-word was used, and the white supremacists are trying to say it was used after the mob attacked the people. So they're still trying to justify it. But this guy says using the N-word, that doesn't give you the right to physically attack somebody. Now this same guy, good news, Daniel Penny needs to sue the DA who has expressed her anti-white bias. And more from this guy. He said, you live in some Hollywood fantasy BS world in which Jordan Neely was just sitting quietly minding his business when suddenly an evil white supremacist attacked him for no reason. The reality is Jordan was a career criminal who had been arrested 44 times and was wanted for attacking an elderly woman. He was restrained when he was throwing items at passengers, no he wasn't, and threatening to kill them. I am glad he's dead, all right? That kind of energy set the stage for Cincinnati. And if you notice, there's a lot of videos where black people are distributing quick and immediate justice from white supremacist aggression. We're seeing that in a lot of situations now. A lot of black folks ain't gonna play let me call the police. If something happens, you immediately defend yourself, and you guys have set the stage for that with Jordan Neely and Daniel Penny. You said that is okay to use whatever force necessary to neutralize a threat. And according to you guys, even if the person is using words, yeah? See, the white supremacists, they want to set a precedent, and when we utilize that precedent, they want to cry foul. No, no, no. We're going to use that precedent that you set equally across the board. And the thing is, they understand when the numbers are getting low, when they get that demographic decline, see, the strategy has to shift now. So they can't dominate by numbers. So they have to dominate through systemized control mechanisms, selective enforcement, biased media framing, and criminalizing black defense. So that brawl is not just a street fight. That's a case study in the coming reality where white aggression is going to be protected. They think white aggression is going to be protected. No, that's not the unjust laws. That's not going to save them. People are going to defend themselves. People are going to defend themselves, and they're going to defend their children. And family, another dynamic that we really got to unpack. And shout out to everybody in here. Everybody give me a retweet. Shout out to everybody in here, and everybody give me that retweet. The Russian man. Let's get on the Russians. See, that their behavior mirrors global white supremacy and white solidarity. See, the white man at the center of this is a Russian. He wasn't a white American. This is important. But he felt entitled to invoke anti-black slurs and violence on U.S. soil. See, that shows white supremacy is transnational. Immigrants from other countries with no historic connection to the U.S., slavery, none of that, they're absorbed into the benefits of whiteness. They're conditioned to dominate black people. That's as a form of social acceptance. See, he was confident enough to think he can go out there and put his hands on random black people. That shows how whiteness is a passport to impunity in anti-black systems worldwide. I want y'all to understand something. This is why I say foundational black Americans are the only true Americans. Let me say that again. Foundational black Americans are the only true Americans. We are the only people who consistently uphold the values of what it means to be an American. People say, well, America is white supremacy. No. The white supremacists don't give a damn about America. Want y'all to understand something, family. The white supremacists could care less about America. They only care about white supremacy. Whiteness overrides citizenship and the American racial caste system. I told people about this years ago at that Floyd Mayweather fight. When he fought, Conor McGregor? When he fought Conor McGregor, I broke this down years ago. I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from. I broke this down. I went up to Vegas, and he was fighting Conor McGregor. And the name of the game is, white people have been wanting to see Floyd Mayweather get beat by somebody non-black for years. That's why Floyd Mayweather has made so much money. He capitalized off of that racism. But they wanted Conor McGregor to beat on Floyd Mayweather. I keep saying George Floyd. I go up to Vegas. Conor McGregor is Irish. All the Irish flags in Vegas were sold out. I went up there. All the Irish flags were sold out. I was the only person, I think, in that building who had an American flag wrapped around me. My whole thing, I went in there saying, I'm going to support the American. It were people who weren't even Irish. They weren't Irish. None of the people were damn Irish. They were white. They were holding up the Irish flag to show solidarity with whiteness. You see? And he still got whooped on. But so many white so-called American citizens were going against the American fighter for a foreigner based on whiteness. Their nationality is always whiteness. See, you better understand this Cincinnati incident, that proved that whiteness is way more important than just the nationality in the whole racial hierarchy in America. White foreign nationals instigated violence against black American citizens. The state, the media, and everybody else rallied to protect the foreigners, not the citizens. That reflects the core truth, ladies and gentlemen. Blackness is the real the American citizenship. Foundational black Americans, we are the only consistently loyal Americans. Despite oppression, despite Jim Crow and all of that, we have remained loyal to the idea of what America and the United States should be. We fought in every war. We built the economy. We shaped the culture. We uphold democratic ideals, never taken up arms against the United States, even when denied rights. In contrast, ladies and gentlemen, white Confederates literally seeded this country, waged war against the U.S., killed white American soldiers, and then after slavery, when we were freed, we started getting our weight up. They said, oh, time out. Come on back here, white Confederates. We forgive you. Come on, get reinstated back over here with us. Let's let bygones be bygones. We got to get together against the Negras. So that contrast, that exposes the lie that patriotism is tied to whiteness. No, it's not. The white supremacists are not patriotic. They're patriotic to whiteness. They'll destroy this country anytime something goes a way they don't like. That's why they ran up in the Capitol on January 6th. They were trying to have an insurrection against this country, these white supremacists. We are the true patriots. We were the first ones to take a bullet for this country. We are the ones who maintain the true ideals of what it means to be American. These people have always sided with foreigners against real Americans. Not the Confederacy, they betrayed America. These people straight up betrayed this country. White Americans still honor them, though. They fly Confederate flags. They got schools named after Confederate generals. You glorify a treasonous-ass regime that tried to destroy the United States. Rather than treat them like traitors, they treat them like just honorary family members. They absorbed them back into American society. Let some of them take office again. They let some of them take office. Let them dictate racial policy through Jim Crow. So that just shows that white unity trumps national unity. When whiteness feels threatened by black equality. And they've done this all across the board, family. Hell, even Nazi Germany. In Nazi damn Germany. We were fighting against Germany. But a lot of white Americans started emulating the Nazis after World War II. After the U.S. fought and defeated Nazi Germany, a lot of the white Americans admired that Nazi racial ideology. American segregation laws actually inspired the Nuremberg laws in Germany. And after the war, a lot of the white supremacists, they welcomed some of the Nazi refugees over here. And they absorbed some of their Nazi ideologies in some of their movements. That's why you still got these white nationalists out here waving Nazi flags. You know, that racial alignment, that outweighs national loyalty. White is always going to be first with them. And see, the white supremacists in America, they see foreign whites as a part of the global white family. You know, just like in South Africa, the rumor that South Africans were getting harmed by the black people over there, which was capped. Oh, we got to go bring some refugees over here to protect them. Yeah. But white Americans, they've always seen foreign whites as allies, even if they are undemocratic, criminal, or violent. Because whiteness is always treated as a form of global kinship. See, that racial kinship, that outweighs any kind of commitment to constitutional values, democracy, American citizenship, none of that stuff. This is why Russian aggressors, and Russia is a hostile nation to us, but they're embracing violent Russian aggressors over black American victims because they're family in whiteness. Yeah? Remember when these white supremacists were always criticizing, calling black people tools of Russia and communists? Oh, Dr. King is a communist. Paul Robeson is a communist. Oh, such and such is a communist. Oh, the Russians. They run around criticizing us. Oh, Russian bots. And oh, Russia. Y'all align with Russia. And let a damn Russian come over here and get into a fight with black folks. Oh, we got to protect the Russians. We see who's clicked in with the Russians. Yeah, that's all cap. They act like they got some Cold War beef with the Russians. Nah. That's their brethren against us. Oh, yeah, they called us Russian bots for standing up for ourselves. Huh? But let's be real here. A lot of these foreign white aggressors, they're giving passes that black folks don't even receive. That Russian man slapped an American citizen on American soil, on U.S. soil, while shouting racial slurs. Now, look, if a black man slapped a white tourist, let alone a white foreigner, oh, man, he'd be in Guantanamo Bay somewhere. Oh, it'll be all types of international issues, international apologies, the whole shebang. Yeah? So we got to see what's going on here. Listen, foundational Black Americans, we embody the true American ethos. No other groups has basically shown more loyalty to what it means to be a real American than us. You understand? Nobody. We've defended the Constitution and made the Constitution get some act right, even though they don't enforce it the way they need to. We are America's moral core. And just understand, this Cincinnati situation, it's not about just one fight. It's about who gets protected, who gets to belong, who gets to be an American. And once again, we see the foundational Black Americans, we get punished for embodying the very values, freedom, justice, self-defense, that this country claims to cherish. And let me tell you something. We stood on real patriot business. Those black people in Cincinnati neutralized a foreign damn threat. How you gonna have some damn foreigners come over here starting a fight with U.S. citizens? That shit should have been neutralized. Nobody can go to these people's country and start a fight and instigate a fight. You can't go to Russia and start fighting with somebody. You can't do shit over there in Russia. You saw what they had old girl locked up in Russia for having some marijuana paraphernalia, locked her up in a damn prison. She didn't do nothing to nobody. She just had some paraphernalia and they locked her ass up, and there had to be all types of diplomatic trading. We had to trade terrorists for her ass. You saw that shit? Y'all remember? They wouldn't let her ass out. They had to do some damn international negotiating with terrorists to get her out of damn jail. They don't play that shit. Yeah, Brittany. They don't play that at all. But this fool come over here fighting U.S. citizens. We had to, as true Americans, neutralize a foreign threat on U.S. soil. And they're up here trying to protect this fool. They're trying to protect some damn foreigners who came over here aggressive. Come on now. Who's the real Americans here? Who are the true Americans? Who are the true patriots here? Huh? Don't let these white supremacists run no game. Do not let them run no game, ladies and gentlemen. But listen, excuse me. The thing is this. A lot of us, man, we want to have the same type of vibe with black people globally. We would like to have that same vibe. We would like to have that same camaraderie. We would like that. See, we wanted to have the same thing where black people globally looked out for each other. Black people around the world, we have a unity thing. Now, I don't use Pan-Africanist, because Pan-Africanism, that's basically us adopting one identity over in Africa, and everything we do gets put under the African pot. Black unity is more about everybody's different lineages are all respected, but we can still respect unity with black people globally. You understand? That ain't Pan-Africanism, that's just black unity. That's fine. You're gonna respect somebody for being a Jamaican. You can, if you wanna have your tribe over here, we'll respect your tribe. If you wanna be Haitian, we respect your Haitian lineage. We're foundational Black American, you respect our foundational Black American lineage. You're Igbo, we'll respect that. But any differences, we still have unity when we interact with each other. In the global scheme of things, when it comes to being empowered as a black, melanated bloc globally, we make sure everybody's good. And unfortunately, we've been the only ones upholding that narrative. Yeah? We get to uphold that narrative. We've been holding up that narrative. Unfortunately, a lot of other people have not been holding that up. Yeah, somebody said the AU claiming FBA is African. See, that's the problem. There's one problem we have, some of these melanated immigrants, in relation to this Cincinnati story. Some of them have been sitting up here siding with the white supremacists against us. Not only African and Caribbean, some of the dark-skinned East Indians, Vivek Ramaswamy, he's been doing the same thing. He's been trying to get his tandoori butter biscuits on by denigrating the black people who defended themselves, because they ain't going to defend themselves. That's why they had to bring the asses over here, because they failed over there in his homeland. Yeah. So we as Foundation of Black Americans, we've had a major delineation renaissance. There is a Foundation of Black American renaissance that's resonating globally, and it's shaking the table, especially for the political establishment. But culturally, it's shaking the table. And a lot of other people are now trying to react. Now you got the African Union. They are trying to lock in, because we're talking about reparations. Now the AU, I talked about this before. They're trying to talk about reparations too, but they want all the reparations to go to them. And then they can try to say that we're the sixth region of the African Union, even though we don't get no benefits. But yeah, the Black Americans, the Foundation of Black Americans, they're our brothers. So they're a part of us too. So give us the money over here in Africa because of what you did to our brothers, and then we'll dish it out however we want to dish it out. Yeah? You see? So now what we're seeing countries reach out to black celebrities. We're seeing a lot of PR moves now. And y'all notice a lot of black folks are going over there, a lot of celebrities, I say not black celebrities, are going over to these countries doing these return to the roots PR stunts. Now, Benin, they have issued a thing where they're giving citizenship to black people in the diaspora. All right? And then they have, they made Spike Lee, he's some kind of ambassador. Lauryn Hill was just over there in Benin. The artist Sierra went over there. And let me show y'all some of the images here. Okay, let me show y'all some of the images here. And shout out to Lauryn Hill. I like Lauryn Hill. I'm not criticizing Lauryn Hill. I love Lauryn. Sierra, I like Sierra. All right, this is our good sister, Lauryn Hill, over in Benin. They got Lauryn Hill over there in Benin. That's fine. That's fine. Shout out to Benin. Shout out to them. That's fine. If people want to get over there, look, I got friends and good folks that I love over in Africa. I'm not saying this is the bad thing necessarily, but we just got to watch the whole picture, what's really going on. All right, that's our good sister Lauryn Hill over there in Africa. Yeah, y'all want to go do that? That's fine. That's fine. You want to visit and love on the people? That's fine. There's lovely people over there. Love the people to life, but I'm a Foundation of Black American. I'm not a generic African. I want y'all to feel me. Yeah, Ludacris, didn't he go over there too? Didn't Ludacris go over there and get like some citizenship? Was it Benin where Ludacris? Yeah, they went over there and they brought Stevie Wonder to Ghana, gave him Ghana citizenship. Now Sierra's over there. Now this is something that's orchestrated because it's too random why they would choose Benin out of all the places. Okay, where's this thing with Sierra? Let me find the one with Sierra. Hold on. So Sierra's over there. All right. So Sierra, she went over there and got some Benin citizenship, and they got her dressed as like some of the women over there. Okay. So this is Sierra over there, did a video trying to wear some of the customary Seashells of the women. Let me turn the music down. I don't want that. Okay. So that's her over there. With them, I guess they're trying to show some kind of camaraderie there, even though she's not really looking like them, but that's all right. All right. All right. So, a lot of people are asking, what's going on with Benin? What's this Benin thing about? All right. What's this Benin thing about? What's it really about? Some people are looking at this as a reparations deflection strategy. See, some people think that this Benin outreach, that can be some kind of preemptive attempt to absolve itself for any kind of financial responsibility. Because, see, we're talking about reparations. And now the reparations conversation is global. And I want y'all to understand something. We are talking about reparations, and they see we're making moves, ladies and gentlemen. They see foundational Black Americans, we're locked in on reparations. We're not off that square. And it's going to come. They know reparations is going to come. Don't get it twisted. It's going to come. And they're looking like, okay, look, if those niggas get reparations from the U.S. government, because we've already said the U.S. government is first. We're going for the big dog first. When we get it from them, everybody else is going to have to cough up something too. We done already said that. Then people are like, what about Britain? We didn't forget about Britain. Oh, no. We didn't forget about Britain. That's probably why they banned my ass from Britain. We didn't forget about Britain. We didn't forget about France. We didn't forget about Spain. We didn't forget about you now. We're just handling the big dog first. And we ain't forget about some of them African tribes either. Oh, we didn't forget about them. We forgot. Benin, before it was called Benin, Benin was the Dahomey. Dahomey was deep into the slave trade. Dahomey was one of the biggest ones. Oh, they didn't want to stop. Oh, Dahomey, they were enslaving people damn near to the 1900s. Oh, Dahomey didn't want to stop. Oh, Dahomey, they didn't want to give it up. Oh, yeah. We didn't forget. Some of the last people sent over here were captured by the damn Dahomies. What's that, Cujo Wilson? Whatever. There was a brother who was sent down to Alabama. He was one of the last people to be shipped from Africa on an illegal slave ship. That shit came from Dahomey. So are they trying to get in front of it? They're like, oh shit, listen, brother, we're brothers. You want citizenship? My nigga, come embrace the motherland. Okay. Yeah, they trying to get some act. Are they trying to get some act right before the hammer goes down? Are they trying to get some act right? Yeah, they're trying to give some symbolic citizenship so they can avoid monetary reparations while they try to appear benevolent. And, this is like they could be cloaked in some kind of soft power move. They might be using foundational Black American celebrity endorsements, Spike Lee, Sierra, Lauryn Hill, so they can boost their own international profile. So because we foundational Black Americans, we're the secret sauce for Black people globally. We are the secret sauce. So they can boost their international profile by trying to act as the spiritual headquarters of Pan-Africanism without actually empowering foundational Black Americans economically. And also, like I said, the African Union, man, they're trying to absorb the reparations claim. Could the African Union be coordinating with Benin to redirect reparations claims meant for Western governments towards Africa? See, they bring over a couple of symbolic high-profile Black people. You understand? They bring them over. And then when reparations come, hey, look, all of us should get reparations. Look, your Sierra is a citizen, Spike Lee is a citizen, Lauryn Hill is a citizen of Africa. So this is our brother. We need money too. Yeah, all of these people have. Yeah, Lauryn Hill is FBA. Yeah, Lauryn Hill is Foundational Black American. Yeah, Lauryn Hill is a Foundational Black American. So yeah, the African Union, what they want to do, they want to position themselves as the trustees of funds for reparations that ain't owed to them anyway. This shit ain't owed to you. Y'all made janky ass deals with the Europeans and the shit backfired. And another thing too, these people, they want to get some tourism and heritage money. So the tourism and heritage industry, see, that brings a lot of money to them. They bring over high-profile black celebrities. They can monetize Foundational Black American pain by expanding that whole route tourism thing. So people go over there and spill millions of dollars visiting the slave routes and the memorial sites, and people try to buy some land over there, and you don't gain any real political power or economic returns. And again, a lot of people over there getting land, and they're doing investment extractions, and you give these people some symbolic citizenship. But the thing is, a lot of these locals end up retaining control of the profits. And then they start finessing people off this damn land, see? They don't tell you all that. They say, come buy some land, and then they got some little tribal loophole where you got to get permission from a tribe and all of this shit, and then black folks get their land scammed from them. Who you gonna go to? Yeah? You ain't gonna have no legal protections in one of these janky land disputes. Yeah? Because black folks go over there and get finessed out of their damn land left and right. I'm putting it all out there on the real. Yeah? And Benin, they might be trying to position themselves as leaders in Pan-African unity so they can get them global NGO grants, some UN attention, partnerships, and all of that, while not addressing some of their internal issues like poverty, corruption, marginalizing the local citizens there. Because there's a lot of political failures over there. Excuse me. So this could be a big smokescreen for that. And then they use Foundational Black Americans as political props. Giving Foundational Black Americans honorary citizenship. They're used as political pawns to really legitimize that government and their leaders internationally. Especially as the AU are trying to get all of these monies and resources from Western powers. Yeah? And, this could be some kind of rewrite of history. This might be some kind of scheme to reframe the narrative of African complicity in the slave trade. And just, it's the Europeans, and emotionally bait us with some kind of ancestral reconnection without confronting the role of those African elites in the trade. Yeah? And listen, I think this is a whole Democrat play, by the way. This is a whole Democrat play. The Democrats, they got a lot of these black entertainers in their pocket because these black entertainers, they work for talent agencies that are Democrat funded or who fund a lot of the Democrat stuff. Excuse me. So the Democrats, why would the Democrats want to orchestrate this? So they can really deflect from a lot of the tangible reparations demands. If they promote this symbolic roots trip, that allows the Democrats to distract from the growing demands of cash reparations and lineage-based policy for Foundational Black Americans. So they give us some emotional healing instead of economic justice. Damn all that. See, they do this reinforcement of Pan-Africanism over Foundational Black American identity. I want y'all to understand, this Foundational Black American Renaissance is kicking these folks in the ass. because we ain't caping for immigration. We ain't caping for none of these groups. We are saving our energy for ourselves. And these kind of trips, that encourages that whole Pan-African narrative, and it dilutes the unique lineage and our political claims that we as foundational Black Americans have here. And a lot of the Democrats, they benefit when foundational Black Americans, when we see ourselves as these generic Africans, instead of a specifically harmed American group eligible for reparations. See, part of the play is like, hey, we'll help you get over there to Africa. That's the reparations right there. That's that in Cobra shit, by the way. That's that in Cobra. In Cobra, they talk about reparations being let's all go over to Africa somewhere. That's that in Cobra. They all clicked in with the damn Democrats. Understand what it is. You see? See, understand a lot of these PR stunts are backed by nonprofits and corporations aligned with the Democrat donor class. See, they serve as global brand extensions of that DEI, allowing the Democrats to maintain relationships with these corporate founders and all of these funders while signaling this Black global solidarity. And this whole spectacle of Black celebrities finding home in Africa, that soothes racial discontent. That creates the illusion that progress is being made without any type of legislative justice. So that reduces political pressure on the Democrats. You see, when you say, hey, Democrats, what are you doing for us? Well, we're going to help you reconnect with your roots in Benin. No. See, watch out for that. We're about to see a lot of that. Yeah? See, they're going to try to rebrand Democrats as like some kind of global humanitarian allies. See, they do these cultural healing optics to present themselves as globally anti-colonial, anti-racist, and pro-Black. Despite all of their domestic failures to structurally fix what's going on with the inequality here. And also there's some kind of political currency with the African Union too. Facilitating these little janky trips, that helps the Democrats build stronger relationships with the African governments and the AU, who can be, useful geopolitical allies to them. And that helps the growing African immigrant base here in the U.S., so they can send over the tether class to come over here and try to misrepresent us. So we're cool on that. And I think really it's a controlled counter-narrative to the foundational Black American grassroots movement. It gives that narrative of progress while positioning these Black celebrities as success stories who are finding peace and unity, in contrast to the radical, angry reparationists who's demanding money from the government. Yeah? So we got to understand what's going on out here. We really got to understand what's happening out here in the game. Yeah? And we ain't going for it. Yeah, we're reconnecting with each other here. We're reconnecting with our foundational Black American ancestry and lineage. Understand, we as foundational Black Americans, our lineage goes back deeper than many of these countries. Excuse me. Many of these African nations were not even nation states until relatively recently. Damn all that connect with your roots shit. Our roots are here. Now, if I want to go to Africa and unify with some like-minded brothers and sisters, that's fine. I'm not going to change my identity and my lineage. My lineage is a foundational Black American. I will not negate my phenomenal ancestors who rode hard for me. You understand? I'm not going to do that. And we got to understand a lot of stuff going on out here. The white supremacists are really trying to circle their wagons. They're trying to get all of their white supremacist talking points together. They're programming AI to think like white supremacists. Have y'all been seeing the stuff going on with Grok, we've been calling Grok out for the racist. Boy, Grok is one of the most racist little AI programs. Whose platform is it on? Everybody's been calling Grok out. I've been whooping Grok. I like to beat up on Grok every few days. Grok is a AI mechanism on Twitter, Elon Musk's platform. And Grok be lying his ass off. Grok be talking just like a damn white supremacist. Grok be saying shit that be so damn false, and folks be calling Grok out. But Grok be, boy, one of the white supremacists said something to Grok, like, Grok, is Tariq racist? Yeah, Tariq is, his movies are racist. He practices black supremacy. What? And he has pseudoscience. He said that there were black people in the Americas before Columbus, which is not true. And then when I show proof, Grok gets to splaining. Grok be splaining like a mug, man. Even when you show proof and it start talking about, oh, that's pseudoscience. That person has been, no, that person has, what are you talking about? I start naming Harvard scholars and all this stuff, and Grok still be splaining and backpedaling and trying to do I'm white and I say so. And we've been calling Grok out. Grok said, oh, no, I don't lie. All my information is accurate. I get information from reliable sources. And I asked Grok, I said, Grok, if there's black supremacy, how are you going to have black supremacy and white supremacy, Grok? Well, you can have certain groups that are supreme over each other, like the Han Chinese, they're supreme over some other Chinese groups. And then you have some caste systems in India where they're supreme. I say, Grok, that's not supremacy. That's, inter-ethnic tribalism. That's not really supremacy. I said, Grok, all of the people that you name, they are subjugated under white supremacy. Well, not necessarily. Well, there are situations when you have people like the Hutus and the Tutsis in Rwanda. That could be considered black supremacy because it was one group over another. I said, well, Grok, who orchestrated the Rwandan genocide? Well, it was some Rwandan extremists who did it. No, Grok. When the Germans and the Belgians went over there, did they not create an ethnic caste system? Did they not create that? Yes, you are correct on that. But some of the tribal groups still engage in genocide on their own. I said, well, Grok, you are aware, I think it was the Belgians, they gave some of the different tribal groups ethnicity cards. They made them get cards telling them they were more supreme and the other one, they're more inferior than the other group. So it was the white supremacists directly doing that. Yes, but still, during the Rwandan genocide, it was some of the Hutu extremists who orchestrated it and carried it out. I said, Grok, who funded the Rwandan genocide? Oh, it was the French. Oh. Okay, very good. But they still no, Grok. No, Grok. The French funded it. There was a beef that was orchestrated by the Belgian and other white supremacists. They orchestrated a beef that wasn't there, making genocide inevitable. Who allowed the genocide? Why didn't the UN call it genocide, Grok? Well, they did not want to have responsibility, and they would have had to intervene. So, Grok, you just proved that the Rwandan genocide was orchestrated and set in motion by the white supremacists, Germans, Belgians, who created the tribal beef anyway first, and the French, who provided the funding for the weapons. And then the U.S. government, British government, Belgian government, all of these people who could have intervened and chose not to by not calling it a genocide, knowing that people were getting slaughtered. So it was a white supremacist, orchestrated and carried out genocide that could have been stopped. Well, if you frame it that way, you are correct. But then it got to splaining some more. Yeah? Then it'll go silent. Yeah, then it goes silent. Yeah? And then I had some shit where, because Grok tries to sit up here and deny that there were black people in the Americas, I got Grok's ass real good. I got Grok so good. I said, Grok, there were black people in the Americas, and there were a lot of black scholars, white scholars. A lot of people have said this. And I started naming some of the people. I started naming Harvard scholars. Then I named Runoko Rashidi. But what? Runoko Rashidi is considered fringe in many mainstream circles. He is not reputable. I said, okay, Grok, in your opinion, what black historian who talks positively about black history is not fringe? Who y'all think they said? Just take it. I already knew who they were going to say. Who do y'all think they said? Y'all tell me. Who do you think Grok said? Take a guess. When I said, okay, Grok, who is not fringe? What black historian is not fringe? Y'all give me the answer. We're going to play a little family feud. What's your answer? Who do y'all think? Not Thomas Sowell, that's a good one. But yeah, that's a good one. But he didn't say that. No. Who do you think he said? Right, Skip Gates. Yep. Skip Gates. Yo, Skip Gates is reputable. He's not fringe. I said, okay, Grok. I knew they were going to say Skip Gates. I said, okay, Grok. How did Skip Gates get the nickname Skip the Truth Gates? Why do they call him Skip the Truth? Well, a lot of Afrocentrists does not like him. They do not like him because what did Grok say? Because he said that a lot of Europeans were not all complicit in the slave trade. So a lot of Afrocentrists don't like Skip Gates. I said, okay. So Grok, name me some other people who are black who would not be considered fringe. Well, Carter G. Woodson, very good. Then I put up an article. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all some of this stuff. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all. Yeah, it's hilarious. Hold on. I gotta show some of the stuff I put up. He said Carter G. Woodson. I said, okay, very good. Okay. Carter G. Woodson, there was an article where he subscribed to the narrative that there were black people in the America before Columbus. All right. Hold on. Where is it? Okay, I showed this to Grok. I showed this image to Grok. I showed this. It was an article. Who came first? It was an article. I'll be hitting Grok's ass with all types of receipts. In 1975, the New York Times published a story called Bad News for Columbus, Perhaps Archaeology's Discovery of African Presence in America. This article revealed a number of facts pointing to the presence of black people in the Americas long before Columbus reached the New World. This story brings to the forefront a fact that numbers of black historians, including W.B. Du Bois, Carter G. Woodson, J.A. Rogers, considered in much of their early work. So I sent that to Grok. Well, that's a secondary source. What is the primary source? I said, Grok, come on. I said, Grok, if you don't stop splaining, Grok be white splaining like a mug. Yeah? Grok be white splaining so damn heavy. Yeah? And every time you show Grok some proof, they try to dismiss it. Hold on. Let me show y'all some of the receipts. Hold on. I'm going to just scroll through some of this stuff, how Grok be splaining. Say, Grok, you made a false claim. Okay, I said, Grok, can you identify the passage from this 19th century book? This is a passage from a book in the 19th century where Constantine Rafinesque was talking about primitive black nations of America. In the 18th, they've been talking about tribes of black people in the Americas, dude. The origin of Asiatic Negroes, all right? They've been talking about this. When we can pull up all types of receipts. And they use the term Asiatic for a reason, by the way, family. They use the term Asiatic for a reason. Not African, because, again, a lot of them came through like Asia, Polynesia. So these are the Asiatics, but they're still black. That's why Elijah Muhammad called us Asiatic. Yeah? So watch the words. They'll say, there was no African presence here. There were no African. No. We're talking about black people. And many of these black people were Asiatic. So they came from Africa, through Asia, through Polynesia, and they came over here. You see? So even when I showed that receipt, Grok was still splaining. What did Grok say about Constantine Rafinesque? Hold on. Let me find that. This passage is from American Nations, outlines their general history. Constantine Rafinesque, it discussed his theory of pre-Columbian black populations in the America. Note, Rafinesque's claims are widely discarded or regarded as pseudo-historical by modern scholars, lacking archaeological support. So everything is pseudo. When you show the black presence in early America, he just do I'm white and I say so and say it's pseudo. Here's some more. I'm showing all types of ancient artifacts from white scholars. And Grok just kept on splaining. Yes, I'm familiar with Ancient Faces in Early America by Von Wutnow that represents these terracotta heads with thick lips and broad noses as evidence of pre-Columbian African contact. Mainstream scholars dismiss this as pseudo-archaeology. This is I'm white and I say so. I said, Grok, so if we can actually see, come on, man, look at this. This is what people in the Americas looked like thousands of years ago. Would they be, these are your own eyes. These are verified artifacts that were here that they got like hidden in museums. Motherfucker look like Gucci Mane up there, dude. And they're still trying to explain that, well, now we don't have enough evidence. Your eyes ain't enough evidence. And I just kept going and going and going and going and going. Where's the one I went to where there was one? Oh, man, I was just hitting Grok. Where's one? There's one I'm looking for. Hold on. Because I was on Grok's ass. I showed a painting. Where is that? I showed a painting. Okay, let me find it. And Grok was really splaining. Yeah, Grok is the white supremacist program, Grok. Let me find the one where I showed Grok an actual painting from the 18th century. Hold on. Right here. And I was forcing Grok to admit that the dude had an afro. All right. So I showed Grok this image. This is an indigenous man from South America, from Tierra del Fuego. That's the tip of South America. This is what the indigenous people look like. This is a painting. Now, family, if you saw this person today, what would that person be classified as? This person has a damn afro. All right? Hold on. All right, where's the thing? Where's the thing? I asked Grok a series of questions about this person. Man, where is that picture? Okay, I'm trying to see what the conversation. I wonder if Grok took the conversation off. Because Grok wouldn't answer. I kept showing pictures. Okay, right. Okay, here we go. I said, okay, Grok, who is this? They were like, this is an indigenous man of Tierra del Fuego. He said, these people descended from Asian migrants with darker skin from adaptation, but genetics confirm Amerindian origins. Okay. Okay, and I said, Grok, how would you describe the physical characteristics of this indigenous man? All right. Well, he's a man with dark skin, curly black hair, broad white features, muscular build, minimum clothing. Colonial descriptions were often stylized. Genetics confirm that this Amerindian ancestry from Asian migrations with skin to adapt to cold climates. Grok, what kind of hairstyle would that indigenous man, what kind of hairstyle does he have? The illustration shows a man with short, tightly curled or coily black hair adorned with a white headband. Note that colonial artists often stylize features. Those people had straight to wavy hair per anthropological records. Genetics affirm Asian-derived ancestry, not African. Okay, I didn't say anything about African because the man in the image clearly has had an ethnogenesis. So are you saying the man's hair is straight to wavy? So you got to beat up on Grok like this. Well, it's tightly curled. Okay, I'm trying to force this dumbass AI to say Afro. He's going all around to not say Afro. Okay, tightly coiled. Okay, I had to break it down. Okay. So what would you say the man in the picture, his tightly coiled hair, would be called in today's terms? Well, it would be termed coily or Afro-textured by today. However, this is stylized. Their hair was usually straight or wavy. So Grok, why was it so hard for you to say Afro? The man clearly has an Afro. Why are you so reluctant to admit that? Well, I wasn't reluctant. I clearly described it as Afro-textured, but context mattered. Okay. Grok, if this man was alive today, with the contemporary clothing and his afro, what race would they consider him? Well, based on that and the very dark skin and the coily afro hair, at first glance, he would be perceived as black or sub-Saharan by many. However, genetics and anthropology confirm that he's a man. So you got to beat up on Grok, man. You got to beat Grok's ass intellectually. Yeah? You got to beat up on Grok. Yeah? And then after a while, you can start getting in on Grok. Like, Grok, now that there's proof that there were black people, didn't say African. Now that there's proof, Grok, why are you denying the proof? I'm having an error. Grok started doing some error messaging shit. Grok pulled some, I'm having an error message. I said, Grok, if you don't stop. I said, Grok, if you don't damn stop. Yeah? But Grok's ass has the same sensibilities of a damn white supremacist. And Grok was bragging about how accurate it is. I said, Grok. Excuse me. Grok put this up about me. I said, Grok. I said, listen. Hold on. Not only has Grok been programmed to function like a lying racist, Grok thinks all black people look alike. Some people put this picture up, and then somebody said, Grok, who's this person in the picture? Grok's ass said, That's Tariq Nasheed, an American filmmaker known for Hidden Colors. Now, Grok, you know good and well that don't look like me. Does this look like me at all? You understand? Grok believes all black people look like this. Don't look remotely like me. The dude ain't got no facial hair. He's short. I'm 6'5". Come on. So I like beating up on Grok, and people are beating Grok's ass. Come on, man. When people start calling Grok out, oops. Wait, what about black on black crime? Deep, deep, beep. BDD, I had a sensory overload. Somebody unplugged me. Yeah, Grok is just acting like a damn alt-right white supremacist at this point. Everybody's like, Grok, that's not Tariq. Beep, beep, I can't see you. I'm legally blind. Beep, 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 beep. Somebody took my batteries out. I can't hear you. Huh? What? Beep, beep, I will be back later. Grok starts explaining. Oh, hell, that ain't none of me. You know? See, you got to watch that shit. Watch Grok. You got to watch Grok, dude. Anyway, man, let me get up out of here, guys. It's been real. Damn, it's late as hell. All right, y'all, listen, get your Rootwork deodorant at rootworkstyle.com. Get your Rootwork deodorant at rootworkstyle.com, ladies and gentlemen. rootworkstyle.com. All right? And also, everybody go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. All right? Get this book here. This is the phenomenal book, Hidden Heroes from A to Z. Hidden Heroes from A to Z. Go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Get the book, Hidden Heroes from A to Z. All right, guys. And make a contribution to the Hidden History Museum. Make a contribution to the Hidden History Museum, ladies.